Hello, welcome to Tony's Bonsai. I've got an interesting update today. This is a hawthorn air layer. We've just removed the plastic and it looks like we've got success. Look at those nice roots in there coming down through the moss. And this is a tree that I worked on, I think it was earlier this year, and you can see the structure that I put into the upper canopy using white wire. So this is being trained in the broom style, and I orientated the branches so that hopefully none of them kind of overlap, so it's just naturally ready to go into a pot and be grown on. So it's going to have a nice trunk at the base, come up broom style. What do you want? All we need to do now is separate this air layer from the main tree. It's got quite a nice base as well, this tree. So, maestro, enter right. There we go. So the whole air layer has been removed there. Obviously the trunk, the moss, the roots. And all that simply needs doing is placing in some nice bonsai soil, fixing steadily. Just bring it in closer there. Let's have a look at that. Lovely jubbly. And you've got, oh, this is the front here, I think, there. I think that'll be the front. You've got two trees out of one. So we'll just put that to the side and then take a look at the base. So we can just rotate that base around there. It's got the main trunk, but then it's also got this second trunk that comes up to the side. Lots of potential there. Not exactly sure what direction that will go in, but pretty much like some kind of formal upright. This upper canopy can be wired just to add a bit of movement into these thinner branches. And another successful air layer. I seem to do really well with hawthorn. I'm struggling with things like juniper, but the hawthorn, I don't know. It just seems to like our environment and it does well. So just a quick update on this tree, because as I say, there's been a couple of videos about it. I thought you'd be interested to see how it's getting on. And as always, thanks for joining me. I'll see you soon. Okay, post lunch, I've just done some late summer pruning on this Yamadori collected larch. It's got a wonderful trunk to it, this one. Really nice. Nice structure. It's got a kind of twin trunk emanating about halfway up. And it's taken me quite a few years to get this into good health following its collection. But it's now beginning to look really nice in this sunshine. My dad's just giving it a spin now, so you can take a look at that. And it's just taking on the really nice shape of a really old mature larch. So this isn't the downward swept Japanese style. I very much styled this in the style of a proper European, you know, 300-400 year old larch, and this is what they look like. You know, they've got that very thick base, and then the branches move in a definite upward direction like this, with quite a floppy flowing canopy. So I'm really happy with how that's coming along. Okay, I've got my apprentice ready, and here's the base of the air layer that I removed. I showed it you just before, but we've decided to do some work now to create some shirey coming down from the top where we made the cut with the chainsaw. So turn this into a deadwood feature, and this branch that comes up on the side here, we're going to gin this now before we do the shirey work. So do you want to just gin that branch, Dad? He's never really done this before, so I've just given him basic instruction. Just squeezing that bark just to loosen it off. You can squeeze quite hard actually, Dad,
yeah,
to kind of loosen it off. And once you've given it a decent squeeze in a couple of directions, you just rotate it and it just kind of pulls off. You just take a bit of time squeezing around, and then suddenly all at once it just gives like that. Do you see that? Just suddenly slides off. It feels quite nice when it happens, and the wood under there should be fairly smooth. If you get your fingers in, it'll just peel off that bark now, I bet, and just pull down. See it there?
It's got a bit of wood with it, this.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Lovely. So we're going to properly gin that. Oh, he has done. You could have just taken the bark off, but a bit of wood's come with it, which is quite good. And like the Shirey work at the top, we don't want that flat top, so we'll just be squeezing the top and making it a little bit pointed. And just using the pliers to roll around and create something that looks natural. Excellent. So next job is to move up to the top, use the branch splitters, get in there, and boom. So that's the trunk split in two. And hopefully you can grab one half of that with the gym pliers. Or are you just splitting a bit lower?
Yeah.
Right, so you're just going in a bit lower, just to force that split a bit further down.
And I'm pulling actually a little bit further away from the centre so that it won't be as big a piece coming off lower down.
That's a good idea.
Is that, yeah?
Yeah, that's good. I can see the split down the side there, which is good.
Do another one towards the surface.
You can kind of bite in and then wiggle those branch splitters side to side, and it kind of opens the crack up. We've done this on a few trees recently. We did it on the yew, we've done it on a Scots pine, but it's always good to try it on different types of material. And obviously I've got a lot of hawthorn, so it's nice to practice the technique on a tree like this.
I'm trying, as you said, to halve this piece I'm pulling off.
That's a good idea, because then it'll make it a bit more pointed. So effectively then you're grabbing like a quarter.
Yes.
A quarter of the trunk.
And now with a bit of luck I can roll this.
Let's see.
Let's see what happens now.
Let's see if you can back it up with action. Show me what you got. That's nice, look at that. Nice coil. And that's coming off deep into the tree as well, which is what we want. We don't just want that surface bark off.
And as we go lower, it's actually becoming less that it's pulling off.
That's fine, that's what you want.
And now it's just bark.
That's okay. Once it's at that stage, just pull it downwards and just rip it down. Gone. That's it. That's all you want. Let me just rotate this now to have a look at that Shirey. So it comes from quite thin at the bottom, which is just bark, and then as we move upwards, it's really going into that softwood of the tree. And this texture in there, you just can't recreate that with anything other than that natural tearing action. See that piece that's sticking out? Just tear that off as well.
This one or this one?
Yeah, the first one.
This one here.
That one.
This one could
Oh, I don't
come.
know. Yeah, maybe that top one actually. Yeah.
This is the other half of the bit that we split.
Yeah, let's get rid of that.
But we will lose this maybe.
Well, that doesn't
It's
matter.
the branch.
Well, if the branch has to go, the branch has to go. But this should be nice. That's it. Oh, that's lovely. Look at those fibres pulling out. Yes. That's the action. Beautiful. And you'd never do this. If we left this another few months, that wood would harden up and we'd never get that beautiful tearing. And
this is better here.
Yeah. And that texture in there of that torn wood, that's what we're going for, because that looks natural. Now what we do need to do is somehow get the top a bit more pointed.
Yeah.
It's still too flat. So that flatness there needs to be probably pulled upwards. I'm wondering if we could cut it a bit lower and then pull upwards, Dad. You know, instead of pulling down.
Like, what if I try and smash it there and then move up?
Yeah. Because we want it kind of more pointed on the top rather than flat. That's good. But you don't want the point. No, Dad. You don't want the point created with a cut.
You want to try and tear it
Yeah,
up?
it's got to be teared up. Yeah, it's no good if it's pointed up. So you want to cut the angle at a different direction. No, the other way.
That way.
Just let me have a look. Yeah.
If I split it, it tends to go straight, and it comes straight down. Whereas I've cut it there.
Yeah, and then you need to kind of just pull it up with the pliers. So we're kind of tearing upwards then.
You mean like this?
Yes. Yeah, like that.
Like that?
Like that. Split that.
I'm going across the grain there.
That's all right. It's all right. Go across the grain. If you can. Go on.
No, I can't.
Can you not?
No.
All right. Don't bother with that then.
I can go with the grain.
Yeah. Go
And
with
then-
the grain then.
And then that will split it, but we
That'll
don't want
do
it
that.
to split down, really, do we?
No, we don't want. That's it there. Yeah, and then you can lever your way down now. This is what I was talking about before. You kind of can work those pliers down, levering it away like that.
What if we just smash it off rather than allow it to run all the way down the tree?
I like that idea. I like that idea. There we go. Oh, it's pulling nicely that now.
Ooh.
Yeah, get that twist going. That's nice. That's just a nice piece of bark ripping off. Beautiful. But it's this feathery stuff at the top here.
This here.
It's beginning to look good.
Yeah.
That's the stuff we want to maintain because that's the realistic stuff. Yeah, that's a good cut.
And again, we want it to snap off really rather than...
Yeah, you want to tear that across now, rip it across.
I'm just wondering about breaking it at exactly the same place. It might be better broken off a bit lower down. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
If I can.
If it's possible, yeah, but I don't know, I don't mind that kind of shoulder almost, as if it's like broken there because there's a natural weakness in the tree.
Alright.
Like that. Yeah, I like that.
Now this bit. Mash it down that way or come back the same way.
Well, I like that piece that's sticking up. See that separate? No. See this piece here?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That.
That
I want
bit.
that piece there sticking up.
Out of the whole thing?
Out of the whole thing.
Oh,
You know,
right.
it's kind of, you want the pieces sticking upwards.
Well, that's not attached to this, is it?
That's why you almost have to grab it lower and pull upwards with it.
Grab lower.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just pull a little, get into it there. That's it. And then rip that upwards. Just kind of drag it upwards with the pliers. Oh, that's good. And it'll just kind of tear it. You know, that's lifting the whole tree.
Yeah. I don't know how to pull it up, that really. But if I just do a little tear down.
Yeah.
See, I'm afraid of those really, and that little branch. I think it might be better trying to cut this a bit shorter here.
That's it. Twist it like that and just kind of rag it. That's nice.
It's a bit more windswept, and we've retained this little branch here.
That's looking good.
I'll try and smash this up a bit.
That's it. Really squeeze dead hard with that now. Just squeeze and twist. That's it. And sort of ragging those fibres at the top. That's what it's about. It's about just squeezing it and mashing that top up, rather than necessarily cutting and splitting. You just have to. That's it. There. See the fuzziness you're getting and those spiky bits. That's what we're going for. That looks really good actually. And you only get that through
storm damage.
It is. It's pretty much brute force really, and just ripping and tearing like that. And that's the look. And then just rotate it round to me so I can see from round here. And that's looking good now. What this needs is a blowtorch on it, some lime sulphur. That gin now is looking good alongside the Shirey that we've created. And then these upper branches in the upper canopy of this tree now, they can be wired and styled next year. But basically, it's now telling a story that I really like it. In fact, this gin's great because that's got a little split in it as well at the top. Beautiful. Right, I'm very happy with that. Nice work, Dad.
Good. It's good fun.
Yeah, so that's stage 2. That's dealing with the base. We'll put some cut paste on this to protect it from drying out and help the edge of the bark to roll and callus over. And successful. Nice air layer and some nice Shirey work. I've just spent a couple of minutes. I couldn't resist. I had to get in there with the gin pliers, just mashing this top up a bit, just creating a bit more of a weathered appearance, and I think it's looking really good. You can see as we zoom in a bit more now, my dad got this really lovely thick chunk out at the centre there, which is perfect. And I've just managed to just get this top looking a bit more feathered and weather beaten. So couldn't be happier with that. I think that's gone really well. You know, you can just imagine this in 12 months time looking really good. There's a bit of a compilation today, several trees, bits and bobs of work on everything. It's what I'm doing most afternoons, just enjoying myself out here with my trees, with my family, with lots of nice food and a cup of coffee. What more could you want? As always, thanks for joining me. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.